Hi, I'm Teresa Ovison. I am or was the Youth Service Center Coordinator here at James T. Alton Middle School, and today we are having Operation Middle School. This is a program for all of our incoming 6th graders to help them ease some of those anxieties about transitioning from elementary to middle school. We hope that by the end of this evening, they feel much better about walking into our building and about starting middle school. I'd also like to introduce Mr. Lamar Payne. He is going to be the new Youth Service Center Coordinator here at James T. Alton Middle School, and I will continue to be the Family Resource Coordinator at Bangor Elementary, so we want to welcome him today. So lots of times they are super nervous because they feel like, there's always been a lot of structure in elementary school, and when they come here they feel like, oh no, what's going to happen? How are things going to work? And so we just like to ease their mind about that. Like, yes, this is a big transition, but we got you. And on days like today, we're going to show you, like, listen, it's really not that big of a deal. You got this. You're going to make new friends. You're going to be able to transition into this really easily. Lots of them are afraid they're going to get stuck in a locker or silly things like that, but we just reassure them that that is not going to happen here.
And of course, the best place to start their 6th grade is right here at JTA, right?
Absolutely. We are a Trojan family, and we love everybody that walks through those doors.
Would you rather live without a TV or live without a phone? One of the reasons that I play Would You Rather is because a big thing in middle school that I see all the time is when you get to middle school, like, you try to be like everybody else, okay? But what I'm encouraging you to do is be who you are. Don't change just because you're in middle school, okay? So if there's things that you like, don't like just other people like. Don't just go do things that other people do. You be you, because we need you at this school, not everybody to be the same, okay? You're created differently, and so be that. Don't try to be like everybody else, all right? Middle school is fun if you just be who you are, all right? So now,
all right, we're going to go ahead and get started. This is Maneuvering Middle School. My name is Mr. Ritter. I am one of the assistant principals. This is Mr. Roberts. He's one of our counselors. We got Ms. Raines over here. She's our other assistant principal. We want to talk to you for just a minute about some expectations and some different things that you can do when you get here to middle school to make your transition pretty easy. JTA is a blend of everybody. Raise your hand if you went to Woodland last year. Any Woodland people in here? What about Meadowview? Meadowview, okay. What about Rhineyville? All right. What about Pine Grove? Okay. Is there anybody? Okay, you can put your hands down. Is there anybody that went to a school that I didn't name? Somewhere out of state? Where'd you come from?
Radcliffe.
Radcliffe. What about you?
California.
California. All right. Good deal. What about you? Where did you go last year? Did you raise your hand? Okay. What about you?
Breckenridge.
Breckenridge? Okay. See, that's what I'm talking about. There's all these different groups coming together at one place, and that can be really, really exciting. You're going to get to meet a lot of new people. You're going to get to have all new teachers. How many of you were in the same elementary school for 3 or 4 years? Okay, so that's a big change. We're going to talk more about that in a minute. But the good thing about JTA, you're going to get to meet new people. But that can also cause you to feel a little anxious, to get a little nervous, and to worry about some stuff. We want to do this today so that you aren't so nervous, okay? School's going to start next week, about a week from today, next Wednesday, okay? The cool thing about JTA, it's all pretty much one big hallway. And you'll notice that as you get to tour around today. Down on the far end, if you go down the stairs, that's where your 6th grade floor is. Most of your time is going to be spent on the 6th grade floor. You're going to have this chunk of rooms. There'll be 4 rooms. You kind of rotate between those. And once a day, you're going to come up here. This is what we call related arts. This is going to be the gym. This is going to be art class. This is a careers class where we're sitting right now. We've also got band right down here. So you'll get to come up and do related arts. We run on trimesters What's the root word try mean? 3. So we have 3 chunks throughout the year, okay? You're going to get a report card in November, and then you're going to start a new trimester from November to February, and then you're going to start one from February to May. Every trimester you're going to get a new related arts, typically, unless you're in band. Does that still apply? We'll talk more about that later as well. But don't be nervous. Everything's, like I said, one big hallway. I went to school here like 8 years ago. I just graduated, so I'm just excited to be working. I'm just kidding. Like, they just had my 20-year reunion last year, and that makes me feel old. But anyway, I went here. I survived. I had a really good time. Had really great teachers. You guys will too. So, my role as an assistant principal, Miss Raines, as an assistant principal, some of our job we deal with discipline. What is discipline? What's that a fancy word for?
Discipline.
What do you think?
I think discipline is a word like punishment.
Kind of. It's more of a teaching aspect. Yeah. So we actually have 4 rules at JTA. That's it. Everybody can remember 4 things, right? They all start with the letter P. We have prompt, prepared, polite, productive. You heard that before?
Yes.
Good. So that's nothing new. Okay? If you follow those 4 rules, you're going to have a really good time here. We like to reward people. We have a system called Trojan Bucks. It's like a digital money. And you all have a bank account, and we will put money into there, and you get to buy things. We have a store. We're going to open it up about every 6 weeks. You can come, you can buy candy and drinks. We've got shoes in there and shirts. We've got fidgets and electronics and headphones and all kinds. It's a store, okay? And you can spend your Trojan Bucks and buy whatever you have to afford. We're going to try something new this year. Right before winter break, we're going to do an auction. And I'm going out and like spending all kinds of money on stuff. And I'm going to get your guys' input. And you'll be able to place a bid on things. And the guy with the, or the girl with the most money that they bid on something, you get it. Like, you get to take it home. It's yours. So that'd be pretty cool. And we'll talk more about that when we get closer to winter break. But there's a lot of incentive to follow your expectations. That first expectation is prompt. What's that a fancy word for? Who can raise their hand and tell me? Yes, ma'am. Yeah, on time. Like I said a minute ago, all your classes are really close together. So, is there a reason to be late? No. If you're just walking across the hallway to your next room, you have 4 minutes between class. Should you be late? No. If you're out in the hallway like this, and you're like, hey, did you see that game last night? You had Brady got that catch like 5-1, dude. That's cool. You know, and then you like over here and you're like, hey, did you do that one thing like we said you were going to do? And then you end up being late. Is that the teacher's fault?
No.
Is that my fault?
Yeah.
Is it your friend's fault?
No.
No, it's on you. You've got to be on time. It's just like your job. I'm supposed to be here at 7:40. If I show up at 8:30 because my dog was like running around outside and I couldn't catch him, is my boss going to care?
No.
You got to be on time. You got to be on time. And we make it very easy to be on time. You're just walking across the hall, okay? That second expectation is to be prepared. What does that mean? Yes, sir.
Have all of your stuff.
Have all of your stuff. See, when I went here, back in my day, you know, you had a book bag and you had a book from every class that weighed 80 pounds and you just laid it on the floor because you couldn't hardly even walk. You guys don't have that. You're going to have a Chromebook, a few notebooks, maybe some folders. Okay?
It's not going to take breaks on that Chromebook, right?
What's that?
It's not going to get
We'll talk more about that here in a little bit. So, that's what you're responsible for. You bring your materials so you can do your learning. You take your Chromebook to class, you make sure it's charged, okay? How many of you have a routine for your Chromebook when you get home with it? Like when I get home, one of the first things I do is I go to my dresser and I take all my stuff out of my pockets and then I change into like clothes that I don't care if they get dirty because I get dirty sometimes, like mowing grass and stuff. right? You guys might have a routine. How many of you like put your book bag on a chair, or you put it by the bed, or you put it by the front door? Wherever that is, you do the same thing every day, over and over and over. Build that habit. As soon as you set that book bag down, take your computer out and plug it in so it can charge all night. Because one of the worst things that you can do is to show up with a dead computer. Okay? Can you do your job if you don't have your Chromebook? No. And you're not always going to have an outlet right there next to you. You can't count on that. So get in the habit of plugging that in, making sure it's ready to go. And, you know, that first week or two, your teachers will help you get into that habit. Okay? They're not going to, like, yell at you the second day of school if your computer's not charged. I promise. But you've got to do your part to be prepared. So we've got prompt, prepared. The third one is polite. What does that mean? Yes, ma'am. Yeah, be nice. You guys are being very, very polite right now. You're quiet, you're paying attention, you're treating each other kindly, okay? When you have questions, you're raising your hand. That is awesome. That proves right now that everybody sitting in here knows how to be polite, okay? When you get into the classroom, we expect the same toward your teacher and your classmates. If your classmate's answering a question, please listen to them. If your teacher's giving directions on what to do, please listen to them. It's very easy. Prompt, prepared, polite. The last one is productive. Productive is a fancy word for what? Anybody know? Have you already answered? Go ahead. What do you think?
It's basically just doing what you need to do in the time that you have.
Awesome. Great answer. Great answer. You're doing what you need to do. You're doing your job, right? You show up here, you do your job, you get all the learning in the brain space, and then in 6 more years, this is going to freak you out. In 6 more years, you graduate. You thought of that? And then you'll be an adult, right? So we're trying to get as much knowledge into your head as we can so that you can be a successful adult later on. So prompt, prepared, polite, productive. If you show up to class, imagine if I did this. I get here and I go in my office. I put my feet up. Sorry, Miss Edwards. Is she in here? No. Okay, good. This is her desk. I put my feet up and I just watch TikTok on my phone. What's my boss going to do?
Well, you got a boss?
I do. Everybody's got a boss. What do you think they're going to do?
Well, depending on the boss, A, you might get fired almost
Might get fired.
immediately.
Might get in trouble,
What
right?
the heck are you doing?
I know,
Or you might
right?
get a suspension for a couple of days.
Could. There's a lot of things that could happen if I'm not being productive at work.
You could get the
Okay.
there.
You guys are expected to be productive, right? Your teachers work really hard to make sure you have engaging lessons, things that you want to do, things that you're interested in, okay? They're going to show you all kinds of stuff. If you're productive, you don't have anything to worry about. If you just sit there and you don't complete any work, are they just going to just leave you alone? No, probably not. They're going to work with you to try to get you started on things. If you don't, then you might end up with a consequence, okay? We have a discipline system. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on that because I'm trying to keep the things positive. But if you aren't prompt, prepared, polite, productive, you could end up getting what's called a behavior point. And then if you get too many behavior points, you end up having to come see me or Miss Raines, and then you get consequences like detention or a day of in-school detention, that sort of thing. We'll talk more about that next week. I don't want to dwell on that too much. I want you guys to focus on the positives. We've only got 4 rules to follow. You're going to get paid for doing what you're supposed to do. You get to buy stuff. You get to meet all these new people. You're going to have a really good time. I want to turn it over to Mr. Roberts for just a minute. He's going to talk more about this transition to middle school and some things you need to know.
All right, how's it going, guys? So, as I said, my name is Mr. Roberts. I'm one of your counselors here. I also run a lot of different programs, so you'll kind of see me all over the place. I'm our school's athletic director, so if you play sports, you'll probably be seeing me around. Our school's head coach in baseball, so if you are interested in baseball, you'll see me talking about that a lot as well. I'm also the school DJ. Okay, so whenever you come to a dance, I'll be playing music. I'll be doing some of that stuff out in the cafeteria. What I will tell you is I like to have fun. If you like to have fun, raise your hand. Make that fun good. All right, so here's the thing that's different. I want to tell you about middle school and elementary school. This is a big adjustment because there's state laws that say in elementary you have to spend so much time like in recess, being physically active, things of that nature. Okay, so which is why sometimes even when it's like 4 degrees outside, it seems like y'all are running out there with jackets and playing on the playground. Okay, but here in middle school, they actually have some of what is the opposite. There's a lot of rules that regulate how much time you're allowed to have recess, and it's not much. Okay? But we are allowed to reward you for good behavior, academic progress, and stuff like that. So a lot of what our 4 Ps in our system, in terms of points and our Trojan Bucks is about, is data tracking to show you've met this standard, so therefore we can give you this reward in this time as just this way of saying thanks for doing what you're supposed to be doing. Does that make sense? And so if you do those things, you're going to get to go on some field trips. You're going to get to do some really cool things that maybe some others may not get to do. So hopefully everybody gets to participate in those things. In the cafeteria, how many people saw all the screens that are up around the sides of the cafeteria? Did you see that, the big screens? Okay, so I do cafeteria duty like every day. One reason I do it is because it allows me at least an hour and a half every day. I have to stop whatever's going on in my office, and I get to come out and I get to be around you guys, okay? And so for some of you all that just want to talk to me, need advice, things like that, I'm going to do it during the cafeteria time, okay? But another reason I really like doing it is because I like to come up with a bunch of fun stuff to do, okay? So last year we watched a ton of movies in there. In the cafeteria time, I'll let kids make suggestions, things like that. We usually had a music day where I just play music suggestions and stuff like that, and let you guys have some fun with that. And then I also, this year, wanted to do something a little bit more fun, and I actually went out and I found a really nice karaoke machine set up, and so I purchased that. So we might have some karaoke contests to see how that goes, because I've not done that yet. So that'd be pretty fun. And then we also have like a prize wheel and do different things that's separate from the other things. So I'll go over the first couple weeks in the cafeteria, a lot of the expectations, how we ask to go different places, and because we brought in, and other people brought in some microwaves and things like that. So we do have those for use as long as we use them appropriately, right? So there's very specific ways on how you request to do things in the cafeteria, and I'll explain all those things. What it's really important to know is we're going to go over some rules, and it's going to seem like, why do we have to do it that way? Everything we do and the way we do it has been thought about so that it's the most efficient and effective way for you, and it's safe for you. Does that make sense? And so I can go over and explain all those if you have questions. When I'm explaining to a large group in the cafeteria, that wouldn't be the best time, but one-on-one I'll definitely do that. And if we can get to the point where we do that really well, right, and I don't have to worry about making sure everybody's staying seated and doing things like that, then that's when we get to watch movies and do all kinds of fun stuff, right? Because my time's not taken up with small little things like, you gotta sit here, you gotta do this, you got lunch extension. My time is all about playing music and having fun, okay? Which is what I enjoy. Otherwise, it's just really boring for me, and I'm sitting there watching a bunch of people eat, okay? That's not fun for me. It's not fun for you. So we should have a lot of fun in there. Whenever it comes to counseling, okay, as Mr. Ritter said, hopefully everybody makes good choices and does all those things. Sometimes people don't. Sometimes that means they have to go and see Mr. Ritter or Ms. Raines and deal with the discipline and consequences of our program that we have here. But sometimes it might mean that you're just having a bad day. You might not make a great choice, but you didn't really necessarily do anything wrong, having a rough day. That's typically where you might see me. And then there's other people that just are having a problem maybe no one even knows. It looks like everything's fine, but inside it's not, okay? And so we have a way for you to sign up, and your teachers will go over this. They'll have it in their Google Classroom. That'll be accessible to you. There'll be a little form where you can click on it, and you can sign up to request to see a counselor, okay? When you sign up, you can request for a specific one, because sometimes you might have a problem, and you really want to talk to a guy about it. Okay, sometimes you might have a problem and you might want to talk to a female about it. Well, Miss Roberts, my wife, is actually the other counselor. It's not going to hurt my feelings if you'd rather see her. It's not going to, it's not going to hurt her feelings if you want to see me. If you really don't care, you just really need to talk to someone, there's also an option that says either. What I will tell you is if you really don't need to be either one of us, picking either is the best option, because I would love to be able to tell you that I come here every day and as soon as I clock in, all I'm doing is counseling kids until I leave. But unfortunately, that's not the case. There's a lot of programs and things that we're doing and working with parents and everything else. I got lunch duty for about an hour and a half, right? We make it fun, but still that's an hour and a half that I can't come have a private conversation, right? I can kind of give you some guidance, but I can't have a real private conversation in my office or anything like that. So if I only have 9 slots but I have, like one day last year, I had 65 kids sign up to see me in a day. That's not feasible even if I didn't have anything else to do. Does that make sense? So a lot of those, I just pull up in the cafeteria and talk to them. It's small stuff like, you know, a kid left something and they needed something for sports or whatever. Those things are easy stuff. But sometimes it's more difficult things, okay? So you'll kind of give me like a little, me and Ms. Roberts, explanation of what you want to talk about. So let's say I want to be able to see 9 kids. If everybody's issue seems about the same, and some of, you know, I'm going to take the first 9 that signed up. Right? That's the only fair thing to do. Make sense? Okay. However, if the first 9 on there were like, I thought I liked band, but I really want to get out of band, but my mom says I have to stay in there all year. I will talk to you about that problem because I understand how that may feel. But if I have that and I have an issue where a kid says, you know what, I don't know where I'm going when I get home today because I don't have a house anymore and I'm not sure if mom or dad's still home. Okay? I'm going to, even if they signed up last, I'm jumping them ahead of the line because that's a really big problem. Does that make sense? So, and we have anything and everything in between that occurs in the school, okay? So, if you don't get to us the day you sign up, just be patient. Sometimes it takes us 2 days, maybe 3 to get to some of you all. But if you haven't heard from us in 3 days, because even if nothing else, I'll call you and say, look, I've got it. I've got you on my plan to see you tomorrow. Is everything okay? I'll do a quick check-in. If you don't hear anything from me in about 3 days, you probably need to sign up again because there's a chance maybe something didn't go through, right? And if I don't know that you want to see me, right, I wouldn't know to call you down or meet up with you. Make sense? Okay. We also do groups, so some people will work in groups. I usually do some different groups. A lot of my groups, the groups I do are typically with 8th grade and 7th grade, but that doesn't mean I don't work with 6th grade. I do, okay? Worked with a lot of 6th graders last year, so. I'm just excited. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm going to meet a lot of different people here, but every teacher you come in contact with, Mara, why do you think they're here? Why are they here? Because they want to teach. Why do you want to teach? Why do you think people want to teach? Is it for the money? No. No, my second job I do on the side almost makes more sense than I do as a teacher sometimes. So no, that's not, it's not about the money. What is it? It's about kids, right? I'm going to be honest, I struggled a lot when I was in school, okay? I got in a lot of trouble and I did a lot of things I'm not proud of now, right? So, but I was lucky enough to have some people that cared, take time to share some things with me, be kind to me, and love me, and I didn't deserve it. Does that make sense? And so because of that, I was able to get out of some bad situations and make some better choices in my life, and I've turned a lot of things around since then, and so now I want to give it back, right? That's not everybody's story here, but what I will tell you is every teacher in here is doing it because they care about you, right? I loved you guys before you stepped in this building, and I know that might sound weird, but I'm going to tell you I love you a lot this year. You're going to hear a lot, and it's because it's true. And some people are like, well, how can you love somebody you don't know? Well, the moment I found out my daughter existed or was going to exist, I loved her more than anything else. Okay? Sometimes love is not just a feeling. It's not, there's a different, I love my dog, and it's different than the way I love Miss Roberts, right? So there's different versions of that. But what I'll say is love is not just a feeling. Sometimes it's a commitment to care about somebody else, right? And so the teachers here, your coaches here, myself, everyone will love you. They may not say it out loud. For some people, that's a hard thing for them to say. But they wouldn't be here doing this job if they're an educated person, if they didn't care about you. Okay? Now, sometimes how we share that is different. You might have a teacher who seems real mean because they think if they get everything ordered, you're going to learn more, which is going to help you. You might have a teacher that seems super nice and almost too nice. And that's because they want to just make sure that you just feel happy with them and love all the time, because that's how they want to show you they love you. Does that make sense? And so everybody's going to show it in a different way, and sometimes we just got to give each other grace and try to understand maybe where they're coming from, and I'll help you with that a lot too, okay? And sometimes I'm going to throw this out there, adults are wrong. So there'll be sometimes that maybe I make a mistake and I have to come back and say, you know what, that was my fault. Or maybe the teacher might be wrong, okay? But that goes both ways. We also got to make sure we keep an open mind and realize that sometimes we don't make the right choice as a child either, right?
Mr. Roberts?
Yes.
We've got just a few minutes. Did you want to talk about new friend groups real quick?
Yep. So, one of the biggest things that when you guys come to middle school, I know Mr. Ritter already asked this question, that's what I was asking last group. You've been with the same group of kids for the last 3 or 4 years, right? So you've got really close friends, because we all want to belong. So whoever is very similar to you, that's who you kind of friend up with in elementary school. And that's, right now, when you're always young in life, that's the closest you've been to most other people outside of your family especially. So when you come to middle school, you're mixed in with all these other groups. Do you think there are going to be some people that like some of the same things you like? Yeah, I would say, if not half, at least 40%, okay, are going to be very compatible with you. So what will happen is, if he and I are really good friends, we come to the school and all of a sudden I realize he's really cool too. You know, he likes playing R6. I like playing R6. I'm not much on Fortnite anymore, so I'm kind of going over this way and hanging out with him. He's still kind of hung up on Fortnite, 2K, and I like 2K. I'll still play that, but I'm kind of like this new game. He's really good at it, so I'm being friends with him. What happens to his feelings? Right? He gets a little upset sometimes, because if you like something, do you want to let it go? No. The thing that I want to caution you on is you're not going to be able to keep it by being mean, right? If you say, hey, he's getting friends with him, so I want to say mean things about him to try to convince him that I'm better. Is that going to work with me if I already like him too as a friend? No, it's going to make me think, well, maybe he's not who I thought he was. And so sometimes when we get panicked, we start to, we don't really know how to deal with it, and we say things and we do things that really makes our situation worse. So if you find yourself getting into that situation, that'd be a perfect time to come talk to me in the cafeteria so I can give you some advice. Okay? And maybe we can avoid some of those issues, because you're going to make new friends, but that's a good thing. I mean, what's the only thing better than one chocolate bar? 2 chocolate bars. Okay? So what's the only thing better than one friend? 2 friends. Okay? And so 2 friends turn into more. So that's one of the things we got to keep that open mind, because chances are, if I think he's cool, if he gives him a shot, what is he going to think? If we're really close, he's probably going to think he's cool too, right? And we could be a good friend group, but that won't happen if we get really frustrated with each other, and out of being nervous of losing something we care about. And as guys especially, we don't really want to admit that. We don't want to say it out loud, but that's what it is. Guys are the same as girls do. We don't want to lose our friends, okay? We say mean things, and we don't want that to happen, okay? That's going to be one of the biggest things I wanted to caution you on today, because that's one of the biggest problems we see with 6th grade. All right, kids struggling with that. Okay. All right. How many people are wanting to play sports? All right, cool. All right, so this year we are going to have girls softball. The softball coach, which is going to be Mr. Cockrell, he's going to be in there. We have baseball, archery, girls basketball. As you can see, he's wearing a sample of our uniform. We have, I think I already said archery. We're going to have Vex Robotics, baseball, and then they're talking about, they haven't made a decision yet, they may be adding wrestling and soccer. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. So if that comes out, I'll be giving all that information out in the cafeteria. As soon as I know it, you'll know it. Okay? But if you're interested in those programs, a lot of our coaches are in there. You can stop by and talk to them.
Who is excited to be a 6th grader and start middle school this year? Ooh, that is awesome. Put your hands down. How many people have older siblings? Anybody who's already been to middle school? Oh my goodness, so many of us.
What is actually?
Whew.
7th grade, right?
7th grade, yep.
You want a hair tonight?
Wow, I might end up having them. Alrighty. Well, so here's my number 1 rule. Are you listening? If your mouth is moving, I don't think you can hear me. Number 1 rule is that when Miss Coleman's talking, you're not. Because I want to make sure you get all this wonderful information, all right? So, one thing I want to talk about that is a lot different than elementary school is you're going to get to go around the school and you get to switch your classes and everything, right? It's a little bit different. You get to go upstairs and everywhere else. Do you go down to the other side of the hall at all? Does anybody know? Do you have any classes over there? You don't know? Well, I'm going to tell you. Here's what's crazy about how we do things at JTA. At JTA, you're on a team. Does anybody know what team you are on? What team are you on? X-Men, right? Woo, X-Men. Huh? Oh, no. Well, the X-Men team is all on this half of the hallway. So you're going to have 4 classrooms that you mainly go between all day long. So right here, this is Miss Graham's class. Have we all met Miss Graham? What? That's Miss Graham right there. That's Miss Graham right there. So this is her lovely classroom. And this is where you all will have math. Have you met Miss Have you met Miss Ritter? Y'all are crazy. That would be Miss Ritter right over there. Miss Ritter's classroom is right across the hallway. She teaches science. Ooh. And then right through this wall over here, that would be the lovely Miss Massey. You probably have not met her yet. Right, do you have Massey on your team, right? Yes. Yes, okay. That would be the lovely Miss Massey. She is the English teacher, so you will have her for English. And then diagonal from here will be Mr. Blankenship for your social studies class. Those are your 4 main classes for the day. Then you have 2 more. You have your related arts class, which some of us get to choose some of us got to choose if we want to do band. Do they choose that tonight, or do they already have that picked out in advance? Band? Do they pick that they already have that picked out, right? Yeah. So how many people are in band? Yeah, that's right. Anybody in here doing band? Awesome. So you guys will have band all year long. Your guys' related arts won't change. Everybody else, they'll change between art and PE. Careers. Those are the 3, right? Yep. So that is awesome for your class schedule, right? So another thing that is a little bit different is that usually once a month we do clubs. So you guys will get to sign up for clubs. They'll usually do a Google form, and they'll have so many options. Each teacher has their own club. It's pretty awesome. And then you get to put your top 3 or so, and they'll kind of split you all up in between your clubs. And it's really cool. I think last year I had the sports club up in the gym. I was helping out with that a lot, so we play a lot of basketball. And then when I came down here, I did cursive club. See, Miss Ritter, you had greenhouse club, right? Ooh. So if you like gardening and planting, that's awesome. Miss Klein, did you have a club last year?
I had movies.
Miss Klein had.
Make popcorn.
Yep, I was jealous. I wish I was in that club. Yes, sweetheart.
Yeah, honors math, would that be the same as math?
So honors math, you stay on floor, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so honors math, you'll still be on this floor. You'll just be in a different class period. Yes. So these last couple years you have the same club all year long. So I don't know. I know in the past where between trimesters they'll let you switch, but usually it's the one you pick is the one you get. Yes.
I think I heard my brother say that an example of a club here is chess.
They did have a chess club. They also had a Lego club. I know they had a Pokemon club too. So those that play Pokemon Go, rock on. Let's see. I'm trying to think. What else is there? How many people do I have in here that play sports or want to play sports, like sports? Something about when you come to middle school, I know they started doing it a lot more in elementary school, but now at the middle school level, you have the chance to try out for different teams. Right now, we have our football team. We have, I know girls basketball has already started up. Let's see. I believe we're doing a softball team this year, right? Yep, we are doing softball. We have a baseball team. There's boys basketball, volleyball. I'm trying to think. Did I say baseball? Yeah. Baseball. Did I leave any out? Archery, yes. Oh, our archery team is amazing. We had so many kiddos go to state this last year. It was crazy. Yes. There is not a girls' football. But we have had girls play on the football team before. So if you're wanting to play football with the guys, that is more than welcome. Yes.
And I believe if it's allowed for this school, a soccer team.
I think they are working on getting one. I'm not sure if we have one yet.
I mean, if it's accepted, maybe a soccer
Yes.
There is no wrestling. That's a.
Not yet. That's another one that they're trying to get to. So let's see. Let's talk about something else. I'll get you in 1 second. One thing. What is that wonderful thing that you've probably been on all summer long watching TikTok on? Your cell phone, right? So a lot of us middle schoolers, we get a lot more phone privileges at home. We all get phones, right? A lot of us get a phone. Does anybody know about the phone rules at JTA? Does anybody know about them?
Doesn't it mean I can use the phone on the bus?
Yes, you can use the phone on the bus. Yes.
If you get caught with it once, I think, warning. Warning. And then the next one, you get it taken away. And then the next one, your parents have to come and get it.
That's right. So at JTA, we have a strict no phone policy. When you are on the bus in the morning, you can be on your phone TikToking all day long. Once you get into this building, no TikTok, no Snapchat, no Instagram, none of it. No tweeting, goes away.
YouTube shorts.
Yep, none of it.
I have a question.
Yes.
But I really need to work. If we're done with the stuff we were supposed to do before other people, are we allowed to be on it?
Nope. Because, are you here to be social? That
Am I still allowed to be on the phone or Chromebook?
So that's something I'm glad you brought that up. So you will be getting your own Chromebook. Depending on your teacher and what they allow, some of your teachers may let you be on your Chromebook when you're done with your work.
So I can be on Scratch or YouTube?
No. We have a lot of things that we cannot get on because we're not here for just to go crazy and have fun. We're here to learn. So there's lots of learning things. If there's learning games and stuff that your teacher has or websites for you to go on, we have that. But the phones are a no-go. Yes. Maybe an art class. If it's not like our YouTube is usually blocked, so there is no really getting on it. We have a very tight firewall. Yes.
The main game that FJ plays is mostly on Scratch, so I'm just pointing it out. He has his own.
I don't know. I'm not sure. It'd be something I've talked to your teachers about. Yes.
Or we have to review it to see.
Ma'am, it's literally called.
Hold on. He had his hand up, so I'm going to let him ask his question.
Can we still create our own things on Google Drive?
Like a Google Doc and Google Slides and stuff?
What's wrong with YouTube in school?
Animation, sponsors,
If you're given free time
Yeah.
to do that, that would be school appropriate.
Yes, if it's school appropriate.
Let's
see.
do that, but you would have to have your work.
Yes. All right, do you guys have any questions for me? I'm trying to think. No, you don't have a question? Any questions about middle school that you're unsure about or want to know? Anything about you heard that might be cool that we do? What's up?
We get like a very important call.
Well, here's the thing. If your parents, grandparents, whoever you live with is trying to get a hold of you, they know where you're at, right? You should be where? At school? So, if you have an important phone call, I would think it'd probably be from a loved one. They know you're at school. They can call the school to get a hold of you. So, that's the best way to get in contact. Yes?
Don't you guys have choose your own lunch instead of
So lunch. So we have our lunch lines upstairs. We do have I think there's like 2 or 3 options every day that you can kind of pick from. So you go through the line and they'll have those 2 or 3 things as you go through. Yes.
This guy has a really question, but are y'all doing karaoke club this year?
Oh, I wish Miss Coulter was in here. Oh, Miss Coulter did that one last year. I would think someone would do that. If not, I will make sure that someone knows that it is wanted. I can't sing, but I might take it up if I have to, if no one else does. Yes.
A question, you probably don't know the answer. Will there be like an art or drawing club? I know there's going to be sort of that stuff.
I would feel like our art teacher would probably do an art club of some sort.
A lot of times there's several art clubs.
Yeah, there is quite a few. Sometimes we even just have doodle clubs. Like
Last year there was a drawing club where literally you got to spend the entire time drawing. I love that.
yes.
They did have one quality paper. Besides that, I loved it.
Oh wow. Do you have a question
I
for
was
me?
like the only person there though.
Homework. So, when it comes to middle school, it kind of depends on your teacher. Most of the time, your homework is what you don't finish in class. So if you are not spending your time wisely, getting the things done that you need to do, it's going to have to be done at some point. Where else are you going to do it? At home. So, my best advice is to stay focused and be on task and not goofing off with my friends while I'm in class. Because once you get your work done, normally your teachers either have something else for you to do, possibly something fun to do, or like you can just chill out and you don't have to worry about doing anything. You can talk with your friends. Yes?
I have 2 questions.
Okay, 2 questions.
So, one, if we have to change, are there any locker rooms in this school?
So locker rooms. So when you go to gym class, you do have locker rooms up there. You do not use the lockers. So you'll bring either in your book bag, or if you need to bring an extra bag to bring your spare change of clothes, you will go to the locker rooms. You can use the restroom, you can get changed and do all that jazz before your gym class. Or if you're in a sport, you're also able to use those locker rooms. What's your second question?
Can we be in 2 different clubs, like chess club and art club?
Unfortunately, they only let you be in 1 club. Yes.
Are you allowed to bring our bags to Lululemon classes?
If your book bags are Lululemon, is that what you said?
Something like this.
I think those are okay. I would have to double check with the dress code.
Yes.
But I think, because they're allowed to bring backpacks, I would think that would be.
I would think so.
But let me double check.
Yes.
When you're going to like gym class, do you have like a uniform?
No. The only thing is that you need to have tennis shoes. If you don't have tennis shoes, you're probably going to have to sit out. Are Crocs tennis shoes? So if you wear Crocs to gym class, do you think you're going to be able to participate? Okay, so everyone knows if you wear Crocs that you cannot do gym. What if they're in sports mode? Can you do gym? No, sports mode, we don't care.
What's wrong with Crocs?
Yes.
They're not gonna hurt me or anything.
Hold on, sweetheart.
Yes.
What's up?
You carry your book bag around?
Yes, you will carry your book bag around with you all day long because you're going to have that one little fancy thing with you all day. You're going to have your Chromebook for sure. That way you can just toss it in your book bag, carry it with you, right? So you'll not have lockers. You'll just carry your bag with you all day long. Yes.
This is sort of a follow-up to the 2 club things, but can you join a club and then leave a club and join another, or is it just 1 club the whole year?
Usually not. In the last couple of years, it's been you're in the same club all year long. I do know there's been times before where they have switched between the year.
So then you better.
So they let you pick like a top 3 that you'd want to pick. That way, in case if your number 1 gets filled up before they get to your name, then they'll put you in your second choice. If your second choice fills up, they'll put you in your third choice. So you want to make sure you pick the top 3 that you'd actually want to be a part of. We have some people that are like, I don't care about clubs, and they click random clubs, and then they're sad and miserable in their clubs, and then they're not having fun. So you want to make sure that you pick something that you are going to like. Yes, sweetheart. You had your hand up.
So this is like a different phone thing.
Mm-hmm.
What if it's from like our parents?
So your parents know you're at school, so they can call the school. Because your phone, it shouldn't be on. It should, can it be in your pocket or does it need to be in your book bag?
It's supposed to be in the book.
You're supposed to have your phone in your book bag, turned off. You don't get a locker, so it'll have to go in your book bag and be turned off. Yes.
What if you get a call?
Like if your phone accidentally goes off or what? So if your phone accidentally goes off, I'm gonna be honest, it depends on your teacher. For me, I'm like, hey, turn your ringer off real quick and put it away. Like sometimes we mess up, we can leave our ringer on some days. But if you're actively on your phone, it is probably going to get confiscated. Yes.
I was wondering, how come y'all don't use lockers anymore? Was it because of like COVID or something else?
So, long time ago, Miss Coleman went to JTA and we used lockers. But we also carried around like 12 textbooks with us all day long that were like this thick. So we used our locker and we would switch out our textbooks throughout the day. You guys will not be given textbooks to carry around with you all day long. So they don't really use it because you're just gonna carry around your book bag and you generally have maybe your notebooks, your binder, a pencil, especially if you're in math class. Whoo! Pencil, 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 right? And maybe some notebooks. So you don't really need a locker, so they found that it's probably just easier to do that. Plus, how many people have opened up a locker in here? So not that many. It can be tricky for those that have opened one before, right? So can you imagine everybody needing help in the hallway, needing to open up their locker, and then you got 5 minutes to get to class? You got maybe 4 teachers in the hallway, not gonna be able to help every kid get in their locker, so that's another thing as well. That's another thing with class changes. We're still on Smart Pass, right? So, middle school. We use Smart Pass for our bathroom breaks. So on our Chromebooks, you basically have to go into this app and you type in, hey, I am in Miss Graham's classroom and I want to go to the 6th grade bathroom. And it starts a time pass. You only get 5 minutes to go to the restroom and get back.
Can I use the bathroom?
Yes, you may, if you want to go out this door. Miss Ritter, do you care to show him where the restroom is? Or, but you get 5 minutes to use the restroom, and then you come back, you say, I'm back. So if you are dilly-dallying in the bathroom and taking forever and skipping class, we have a timer that shows, hey, you've been out of class for 20 minutes. Where have you been? And generally, you end up getting a point or a write-up for skipping class. We don't want that. Yes?
So we only get 5 minutes to use the restroom and come back.
That's correct. The restroom.
And number 2.
Well, you have those days, and there are exceptions. So if it happens a couple times where you run over your time, it's forgiven. But if you have someone who's always in the bathroom for 30 minutes, that's not a reasonable amount of time to be in there. That's the problem. Yes?
When I was still thinking, if my school came this year, if I grew,
Uh-huh.
they said we had 7 minutes.
7 minutes?
I think it has 7 minutes.
Is it up to 7?
It is 7, yeah.
They changed it like 4 times. Like at one point, yeah.
At the end it was 7, so I
That's
know they're gonna be
that's the one I saw.
Okay, so you have 7 minutes. There we go. I was gonna say, cause when I subbed at North Middle at one point, they had 3 minutes, and I was like, that's really crazy. So I never know how much time. So yeah, 7 minutes. So you get a couple more minutes than just 5. But so you get, let's see, I think it's 3 of those a day. 3 bathroom passes. Here's the other thing though. You can also use the restroom when you go to lunch. And you can use the restroom when you get off the bus in the morning. So that's 5 opportunities to use the restroom throughout the day. You do not get to use the restroom in between classes because you have those bathroom passes. Does that make sense? So when you change classes, you're immediately going to the next room and lining up in front of their door. Let's see, what else is there? I'm trying to think. Oh, goodness, goodness, goodness. Have any other questions? You're here. That's a very good question. I forgot about that. So in elementary school, usually you're moving around like the same class all day long for the most part, right? So when you come to middle school, you're going to have different kids in just about every class that you're in. You're all going to be on the same team, but it'll be a good different mix. Some classes you'll have more of the same people than others, but you'll have a little bit of mix in there, so it won't be all the same people all the time. Yes?
I have a question about the pathways. So, is the main the classroom or?
So like that, you mean the X-Men?
Yes.
So that the whole team is X-Men, so there are 4 classes that belong on the team called X-Men. And there are 4 other classes belong on another team called Avengers.
Avengers.
Yes.
So for example, you'll have your math, science, social studies, English, for all.
You won't have to worry about anything that goes on the other end of the hallway. Those are the Avengers. you'll just be us in these 4 classes down here on this end. Does that make sense? So the 2 teams don't really mix up.
See, I'm just trying to look.
Does that answer your question?
Yes.
And cheese.
I'm just a hand raiser a lot, but this may relate to only a small amount, but
That's fine.
is there a limit to how long we can take a break in past classes, or
Like in between classes or
never mind?
You're talking about-
And FJ, go to somewhere called a past.
Oh, so that would be a question for the lovely Miss Klein.
Never mind.
No, that's okay, because she is our past teacher. So she was asking if you get extra time to go to the past class.
Oh, yeah, kids
I
who,
mean, like, is there a limit?
Or is there a limit to it?
it'll be individual for every kid and for every teacher,
Okay.
okay?
Did you have a question, sweetheart? Anybody else got any more questions? Oh, here we go. Yes. All right, trash can by the door. Can you throw it away on your way out? That would be the best thing for me. See, I got 5 more minutes, so that's all I got for questions. Yes. So they basically just kind of split everybody up because we have people coming from a bunch of different elementary schools, right? Raise your hand if you're from Vine Grove Elementary. Raise your hand if you're from Rhineyville. Raise your hand if you're from Meadowview. So we had a whole, and then is it any other schools? I can't even think. Radcliffe? Breckenridge? Okay, there we go. So we got a whole big group of kids, so they kind of just randomly put you in different spots, honestly. They just kind of go, these kids go here, these kids can go here. Nothing special. It wasn't like, ooh, super special pick. She needs to go be in Miss Graham's classroom, so we're going to put her on Miss Graham's team. Nothing like that. So it's just kind of like, split them up, see what we can do. Yes, B?
If you're in 6th grade, could you get put in like a 7th grade class with like a 7th grade teacher?
Math would be the only one.
Math you can. And I think that's based off iReady, isn't it?
Yeah, so we'll have a few kids who, and you'll know when you get your schedule, but we'll have a few kids maybe that will go to 7th grade for math. But typically, no, you would just stay in 6th grade, but there are a few exceptions.
Yes.
Have a phone!
Yes.
Is this all X-Men?
Yes. Just about everybody in this room is X-Men. That way you kind of get familiar with your team and have you in their classrooms. Yes.
Wait, is this all of our teams?
Okay. I got your question now. So this is not the entire X-Men team right here. You guys are half of the X-Men that showed up for just Operation Middle School. So there's about 100-something kids on each team. So there'll be quite a few of you, okay? Let's see. Yep. Yes.
So, speaking of textbooks, can we also bring drawing books? Like, when is our free time? After our work, we can also, like, draw?
That kind of depends on your teacher. I would say probably not, because we like to keep you lots of busyness. Art class, maybe, but they probably already have stuff for you to do.
That would be better if you have free time.
Yes. All right, guys. So that about wraps up my time. Do we want to step out in the hallway and go over? Hey, hold on, please! Whoop. Because we want to show you the 6th grade hallway a little bit. That way you can see where your classes actually are.
We're going to start upstairs.
Even better.
Let me explain what we're doing. Have a seat. I know y'all been sitting and listening for a long time, and we're working on getting our summer brains back.
You can follow him. He's our line leader, and we're going to be in a single file line. This is how we walk. Just like on the road, cars have to follow certain traffic laws. We have to follow laws so everyone stays safe. So we need to be in a single file line. That's one behind the other on the right side of the hallway. So to make sure that you hear this, I need to make sure that we're not talking, because I'm going to tell you some super important stuff. I know everything you've heard today
is super important, but this is going to be, we're going to wait. We have to wait, I'm going to tell you, okay?
You're gonna tell me?
Yes. So when, because I want to make sure you know where you're going on the first day of school when you get off the bus, okay? The first day, honestly, we might have you in the gym, but beyond that, you need to know where to go. So the buses are going to drop you off in that parking lot. There's cars out there right now, but on a normal day, there wouldn't be cars there, okay? So you would come up the big awning. If your parents drop you off, is that anybody's parents? Okay, so wow, that's a lot of you. So if your parents drop you off, you'll come in those doors over there, and I'll show you that whenever we walk past it, okay? But if you're riding the bus, you'll come in those doors. How was it in elementary school? Did you eat breakfast in the cafeteria?
Yeah.
Or did you eat in the rooms? Okay, a little bit of both. So some schools it sounds like you ate in the cafeteria, and others it sounds like you ate in the room. Well, at JTA, we eat in the room. And there will be breakfast carts, and I'm going to show you where you're going to get your breakfast cart, or your breakfast off the cart, okay? So we're going to walk through like it's the first day, you're getting off the bus, you're coming through those doors, and you're going to head down to the 6th grade floor. So here's what we're going to do. You're pretty much still in a line, so I want us to get back in a line and just do an about face. Is that right, military people? Is that about face just means turn around? Oh, is your husband military? But
Yeah,
not.
but
He doesn't make you about face and march at home. All right, so we're going to go back down this way because this is where the 6th grade hall is, where we came from. I know we just left there. Let's head on the right side for me. We always walk on the right side of the hallway. Just like when you're driving a car, you drive on the right side of the road. We have to walk on the right side of the hallway to make sure we don't run over anybody because these hallways get crowded. Raise your hand again if you are a car rider and your parents drop you off. This is the door that they will drop you off at, okay? And you'll come in this door and then you'll just go right down the steps, okay? So it's just a little bit more of a walk down the hallway for those that ride the bus, okay? Okay, kind of come down here. I just want everybody to see where the breakfast cart would be. Come on down. So, where's the end of my line? I just want to make sure everyone can hear me. Alright, come on down. Y'all can make a couple lines. Yeah, I just need you to hear me right here. So, in the mornings, goodness. Alright. Who's my last one? Is that all, Ms. Klein? Just, okay. So in the mornings, there will be a cart right here, okay? And there will be some of our cafeteria staff that will be down here asking you what you want for breakfast, okay? There's usually 2 choices. And you will just politely let them know what you would like, and they'll put it in your bag, and then you'll go to first period. If you stay for open house today, you're going to get your schedule, and you'll know exactly which first period it is. But we'll pretend for now that your first period is Miss Ritter's science class. And we're going to walk to my class. So you'll grab your breakfast, and we're going to walk to the first door on the right. Okay. Okay, so first period. Pretend like this is your first period class, and you would eat your breakfast, okay? All your teachers will go through the expectations for what to do in their class, but the general expectations are you would be in your seat, you are allowed to talk, no phones, okay? This is not a phone time, but you'd eat your breakfast, talk, and just hang out. And then at 8, when the bell rings, that's when class will get started. So you would need to make sure that you're done with breakfast and your trash is thrown away before that bell rings.